Hi, welcome to FTM Transtastic. I'm sorry that I've missed the past few topics, but 2018 has been kind of rough on me so far. I've been sick on and off for pretty much, more than a month at this point, and it's just been a lot to do with being sick, and being sick means not being able to exercise, which means being very tired, and on top of that, I'm studying technically 150% right now because I still have a test left to do next week from the course that I did last semester. So obviously I still have to study for that, and then I'm studying two courses at the same time. So there's a lot on my plate, and I've been very stressed, and I've been very, 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 very tired, and I have just not been able to prioritize making videos. But hopefully I will be back soon, as of maybe not next week, but the week after that, because I really do want to make proper videos again, but it's just like I need to actually have the time, because filming and then editing and then uploading and stuff like that, the whole process of making a video usually takes a few hours. Like, it takes a minimum of maybe 2 hours on a really good day, but usually all in all probably takes me around 3-4 hours if you count the rendering of the video as well. So anywhere from like 2 to 5 hours. And that's not even including just like sometimes I write down some points that I'm going to bring up in the video and whatever. Sorry that I'm rambling, but this is kind of related to this week's topic, which is how we deal with stress. So I've written down a few points that I'm just gonna talk about. And the first one that I wrote down is that or maybe I should say first that I'm not like a master at handling stress. I'm very sensitive to stress, but being very sensitive to stress has also made me have to find ways to deal with it, because if I can't, I cannot function whatsoever. So I actually have a lot of good tips on how to deal with stress. The thing is just you have to do them, and you have to do them from the beginning. You can't just come in halfway through the stressful thing and start doing these things, because then it might just overpower you anyway. Anyway, the first thing I wrote down is to prioritize. So I cut out the things that I don't need to do when this is not in a situation where I'm so stressed because I'm in a very crowded place, because I count that as more like anxiety. Stress for me is like when you have a lot to do, maybe you have a lot of schoolwork to do, maybe you have a lot of work things to do, maybe you have a lot of events coming up, and you don't know how you're gonna be able to do it all on time. So I cut out the things that I don't need to do, and that might include rescheduling things. Like if I'm studying for something, maybe I need to reschedule seeing a friend and see them the next week after that. And just like to prioritize and make your schedule around those priorities, which also means that you need to know in what order you need to do the things that you need to do. So for example, maybe you know that in order to de-stress, you do need to see a friend, but you also need to read this amount of pages in your schoolwork for tomorrow. And so then maybe you should not see your friend today, but you actually first need to read the pages, and then you can see your friend tomorrow, or after you've read the pages. So knowing in what order you need to do the things that you need to do, and knowing what things that you need to do, like actually need to do, and then cut out everything else at this specific time when you're stressed out. The second thing I wrote down is to make a schedule or just a list. And I find that even if I don't follow it, because I have a hard time with focusing, and I can say that I'm gonna go do something, and then 2 hours later, I think it's 5 minutes later, and I've just started doing it. And it's a huge problem for me when it comes to having time to do things. This is not the case when I'm like at work, but when I'm at home just studying by myself, this can be something that is quite rough for me, because there are so many distractions around me because I am at home. At the same time, I can't just go to a cafe because the noise there will bother me so much that I can't properly study. So yeah, but making a schedule or a list is very helpful, even if I don't follow it, because making it, as I wrote here, helps me realize I have time to do the things I need to do. So if I write down, like, I'm going to do this from this time to this time, and then this from this time to this time, I realize that, hey, there's actually time to do all these things. And that helps me relax, and being more relaxed helps me be able to focus better. Or alternatively, I also realized that, hey, I don't have time to do all these things. I need to cut out more things from my plan in order to have time. Or I need to prioritize again. I need to go through that process again, you know. And making lists, they sort of reassure me that I'll be able to remember everything that I need to do, because, you know, when you're stressed, it can be easy to forget things, and it can be easy to, you know, as I said, get distracted and stuff like that. So having a list, and then it's so satisfying when you get to cross off things on a list that you've done. So having a list is really helpful for being able to remember things that you need to remember, and it helps you feel like you're actually getting things done when you cross things off the list. So, and then I wrote down finding small comforts and alternative ways to do the stressful thing. And then I wrote, if I have anxiety but need to work, when I can, I'll treat myself to a coffee at my favorite coffee shop. If I need to study but can't concentrate enough to read several pages, I can watch a YouTube video about the same topic. So yeah, that's basically like, if you need to get something done, if you need to progress in it, maybe you don't need to do it in the exact specific way that you had planned to do it. So if you are feeling very, very tired, you have a headache, you can't just sit and read like 10 pages. If you can watch a YouTube video on that same topic, you're still taking in that information, and then when you do get to reading the pages later, when you feel better, maybe that information will be easier to take in because it'll be something that you recognize. So yeah, just finding ways to work around the stress that you're feeling is really, really good. And what ways you find to do that, I think, is very individual, because, as I said, for me, it can be something like getting a coffee, and that's like a huge motivation for me some days, but for other people, it might not be. For some people, the motivation might be something entirely different. So, yeah. And then the last thing I wrote down is distractions. So taking a break to do anything that makes me focus on something else, like watch a movie or play some music. That is something that also helps a lot with dealing with stress. It doesn't help so much with being productive, because it's easy to get distracted and then you realize, hey, doing this thing is a lot more fun than doing the thing that I need to do. So you need to actually set time for the distractions, I think, if you're on a really tight schedule. So say you work for an hour and then you do something else for half an hour, and then you work for an hour and whatever, you know, because otherwise it's very easy to get lost in time, and just keep doing the thing that you would much rather be doing. But the thing is, the point I want to make with this is that when you are really, really stressed, it is really important, at least if it's over a longer period of time, like a week or more, it's really important to also make time to de-stress, to do something else that makes you not think about the stressful thing, because that relaxes you. I'm someone who, if I'm stressed for a long period of time, when I relax, I get horrible migraines, because it's just this tension that's been building up. You can get, a lot of people get tense in their shoulders, you can get pain in your jaw, you can get all of these physical and mental problems if you have long-term stress and you don't find ways to relax. So ways of relaxing or distracting yourself, it doesn't have to be relaxing, it's just distracting yourself. It can be exercise, just stretching, meditating is really, really good. Going out, seeing friends, going for an activity like swimming or something like that, watching your favorite show. If you're a creative person, maybe you like writing stories, write something. Play a game, like do something that makes you not think about the thing that you have to be doing. Those are my main tips for dealing with stress, and when I implement them in my life, they really, really do help me. It's just that you can't just, if you have one very stressful week, it's hard to come in on the Wednesday and start implementing these tips, because at that point you've already pretty much set yourself up for chaos. So you need to do these things from the beginning, prioritize, make lists and schedules and stuff like that. But maybe these things are not things that work for you. Maybe you're someone who prefers to, just binge do everything all at once and then have it done. I'm not like that. I wish I were. But we're all different. But those are the ways that I deal with stress, and I find them really helpful. So, yeah, I will hopefully see you next week, unless I'm too stressed, because I prioritize. Wow, making practical the tips that I gave in this video. Woohoo. Okay, yeah. So I'll be I'll be back next week or the week after that. Hopefully with better quality videos. I'm not intending to do like webcam videos for the rest of my life. I'm coming back with camera, proper editing, everything like that. I just need some time. Okay. Yeah. So I'm actually gonna go study now, and I will see you guys next week or the week after that. Take care of yourselves, and I love you. Bye. Can I turn this off? There it is. Bye.